In today's take, I want to talk about LeBron James and can he return from injury to help the Lakers and save their season? Before we get into that, though, please like, subscribe, also hit the notification bell, just so you get the newest and the bonus content first. We put out content every day, so you won't miss any content here. Let's just go ahead and jump right into this. So LeBron has been out, in and out the lineup. LeBron's injuries seem to be mounting more now, even though they're little injuries. I would say they're not really major injuries or anything like that. Nothing too major, but they're still injuries. And, the fact that LeBron is aging and he's older and, the fact that he really shouldn't be carrying a team the way he's probably going to have to with the Lakers just because of how they're constructed and just because of all the responsibility that he, takes in regards to, the team and having them ready and prepared to, be a championship caliber type team. I mean, LeBron is definitely almost the coach and he's the whole team right now, honestly. So when you look at that, it takes a lot on him, but it takes a lot out of him too, to be this type of leader for the team and everything and go out there and put it on display. And the fact that LeBron has done it these last couple seasons with the Lakers has been impressive. And I can't really deny that. And I can't deny it at all. I've never really been a LeBron fan like that. But, you got to give credit where credit is due. When somebody's great and somebody shows it, you got to give them that credit because, greatness is not defined by every player you look at. It's only defined by very few, not many. So you got to give credit where it's due at. And LeBron definitely deserves that credit. Now, in saying all that, when you look at this Lakers team, Anthony Davis is a really, really prominent figure on the team. I definitely, LeBron might even tell you, he's the best player on the team. LeBron might even say that. But at the same time, he's the most injured person. He's the most fragile on the team as well. And when you look at this team, it's like, AD goes out every other game because of, some type of injury. And Russell Westbrook is just a high motor, high energy, high turnover demon, basically. He's just one of those type guys where you get what you get with Russ and there's no turning back. You know what I'm saying? You can't mold him any other way. You can't, shape him any other way. He is who he is. And to me, even though LeBron, as great as he is, has always made situations work, even though a lot of people didn't think they would, even in his prime. But now that he's out of his prime, he's really, really looking at a challenge that I don't even know if he can even figure out because honestly, when you look at LeBron's game, it really doesn't complement Russell Westbrook's game at all. Russell Westbrook he's more effective when LeBron is off the floor rather than when LeBron is on the floor. And you can see it in the games that they've played because Russ has more turnovers maybe just many turnovers, but he makes more little intangible type mistakes in games when LeBron is there because the driving to the basket, he either doesn't do it as much or he gets too happy with the jump shot because he doesn't want to crowd the lane up or anything like that and stop LeBron from being able to drive to the basket and do what he does best. And this is what I'm saying. Unless LeBron is going to stay this hot 3-point shooter that he was before, he went down that injury. I mean, he was knocking down threes his first couple games of the season. I mean, he looked like the best 3-point shooter in the league the way he was knocking down his threes. Unless LeBron is just going to become a strict 3-point shooter and stay that way and allow Russell Westbrook just to, control the ball and control the game and do how he likes to do, which is get in the paint, get into the teeth of the defense and, put pressure on them by dunking and going in and, doing a lot of slash plays. That's pretty much the only way this might work, actually, not unless LeBron James takes back over the ball and control the offense and be the point guard that he is, in which I definitely say he's the best point guard in the league, and, take over the system of the team like he has done in previous years, like he done in the bubble when they won the championship. He has to be the facilitator because he's the best facilitator on the team, and the second best, well, honestly, it's probably between yeah, I guess you could say Russell Westbrook and Rondo. I would say Rondo because he's more in control of what he's doing passing wise, but Rondo don't have the offense and he doesn't have the explosiveness, that Russell Westbrook has. So it doesn't really factor out there. But I'm not really sure, and I don't really believe that LeBron can get this train going the way he's done other situations because he's really not in control of it. I believe LeBron is like, the second best his role, the role that LeBron plays, it's almost as if he's the second best player on the team instead of the best player on the team because the ball's in Russell Westbrook's hands so much. It kind of just makes it look like, wow, are the Lakers going to really, let Russell Westbrook control this offense? Knowing every offense he's ever controlled, they go down one way, which is like the Titanic. They fall hard because they don't have no structure. And your main guy is like all gas, no brakes. And he really doesn't have, like I said, any structure in his game. He plays one way. He plays full speed. And he loves to run. He loves to get down the court, run, and make big splash plays. And that's how Russell Westbrook has made his living in the NBA. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with that when it comes to winning. And some of Russell Westbrook's ways, honestly, I believe as the season goes on, when LeBron comes back, I mean, even though I think they're gonna have some winning streaks, they're gonna go through a 6 game winning streak. I think they're gonna have some good points in the season, but I think overall, playoff wise, is really gonna be a big issue for them because you're putting the ball in the hands of somebody who's a turnover machine. And I've always said, a lot of times you could become a product of your environment because Russell Westbrook turns the ball over a lot. Maybe LeBron James might start making some ill-advised passes and, having one or two more turnovers per game that he didn't have last year before Russell Westbrook came. It just, sometimes it's a domino, it's a trickle down effect. It just happens, It's, a lot of players around you, some of their bad habits can rub off on you because that's who you're around every day. That's who that's your brotherhood. That's who you're a part of every day. You're a part of that team, that roster, and so is that other player. And sometimes some of their issues just, rub off on you. And that's something that can happen to LeBron as well. And hopefully not. But at the same time, I'm not so for certain about this team if Russ is going to continue running the operation. Unless LeBron takes back over as the primary ball handler and facilitator, I wouldn't be all in with this team. I wouldn't be, of course, I wouldn't write the team off because they got a lot of talent. I'd be dumb to do that. But at the same time, I wouldn't be all in with this team, as an NBA fan in regards to, what you see on this team right now. Because honestly, if you ask me, I personally think right now their second best player, first best player, of course, I will go with Anthony Davis. Honestly, I think their second best player is Carmelo Anthony. And these last couple games, Carmelo's been playing really good. And I think, the way he's been playing has been overshadowed. But I'm definitely here to give him his flowers because he's been playing really good. But that's not saying that's not having a really good recipe as your second best player coming off the bench in Carmelo Anthony and who's been the most consistent player these last few games. That's not saying much about the team because you have two superstars who are supposed to be top elite players, and one of them is a top elite player stats wise, but not when it comes to winning. And the Lakers are all about winning. They're not about stats. They're not about just making it to the playoffs. It's championship or bust with a team like the Lakers. And that's what Russell Westbrook is going to have to understand. And that's what he's going to have to implement in his diet, because if he doesn't, the way he's playing and the way they, get up and down the court and play, the sets they're playing, they're trying to play more full court, up and down the court basketball instead of half court basketball. Half court basketball is what the Lakers are better at because LeBron James is controlling the offense, and with him facilitating, it makes everybody's job so much more easier. But they have to play half court basketball. LeBron, they can't play full up and down, 100 miles an hour speed wise basketball like Russell Westbrook wants to play. It's just not going to mix. And they're going to fall at some point if they don't figure out a way to implement both and make everybody effective in regards to getting what they need on offense, executing plays, and, playing defense on the other end to stop other teams from just doing anything they want to the Lakers on their offensive end. And that's just the way it's going to have to be. But hey, like I said, that's my take on the situation. I don't really personally think that LeBron can really make too much of a difference, not unless something changes in regards to LeBron being more vocal about, him facilitating, him taking over that role again, or finding a way, maybe possibly getting Russell Westbrook to play off the bench, which is not going to happen, I don't think. But I think that's pretty much the only way it's going to work. If it's any otherwise, I don't see it. But hey, that's my take on the situation. Leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Cali out.